Yeah, welcome to Mobile Rolling. Very special edition here. We're going to catch up with Matt Maguire. Of course, Matt was here in South Australia for quite a while. Went to Victoria, and we're going to talk about his workload there that he's had in Victoria. But he had a personal situation where he had to come back to South Australia to support the family. But we'll get into that deeper as we come back after the break. Matt, welcome to Mobile Rolling. Maguire.
Thank you for having me. Good
Now, I've got a question for you. Magoo, where did you get the nickname for Magoo, and who gave it to you? And do you remember who gave it to you, I suppose?
I'm pretty sure Benny Harding gave it back to me probably 10, 12, 13 years ago probably. I don't even know how it come about, and it just seemed to stick since, so we'll go with it.
So it's not related to Mr. Magoo or anything like that? You weren't bumping into things or?
I probably was drunk one night, I'm not sure, but I've been called worse, so we'll stick with that one.
Okay, all right. Now, you've got the Lara J farm top on.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. I mean, recently you've shifted to Lara J, and tell us about the reasons why.
Just shifted over there. Was sort of not much opportunity here, really. Me and Greg just got talking one Sunday night, and everything sort of fell into place. So I sort of got with Michelle Phillips at that time, and everything just seemed to fall into place to go over there. And so I worked for Greg, loved it over there, and sort of had to come back probably 3 months ago now, just from personal reasons. But now I'll be heading back there shortly.
Okay.
Love it there.
So Greg Sugars and Jess Tubbs, I mean, they've been good enough to let you come over here and cover your personal situation. Did they give you a time limit of when they needed you back or anything like that? Or they said, hey, we're going okay, we don't need you back?
No, they just sort of said, just come back when the timing's right and don't rush things. And when everything falls back into place, I'll just let them know, and Greg will go get some horses from the paddock, I assume.
Okay, well, that's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, they've been really good.
I mean, you've only been there just over a year now,
a year. I went over late October last year, so just gone a year now. So, they've been terrific. They're like a second family, so really good.
And you enjoying it over there?
I love it over there. I said I'd go back tomorrow, but just got to stay here and stick it out for a little bit longer. But no, I love it over there. It's like I've got a whole new life over there, which is good, and everyone get along with it. Everyone over there, the racing's a bit more better, and people over there, more beers with over there on the way home, and a bit more enjoyable.
Because it's a longer trip home.
There's always, Greg's normally got the esky filled up with beer, so which is good.
Yeah, oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So the workload that you have over there, a lot of travelling?
Yeah, there's a lot of travelling. I said you could, Greg's normally starts about 7 o'clock, so you'd be up at 6:30 or whatever, and some nights...
Well, it's late for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it is late. I enjoyed me sleeping a little bit. I had a couple of my own, which I didn't have at Greg's place, which I'd sort of do beforehand, so I was getting up sort of early and that, but as it'd be days you get home at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock, and you're up again 3 hours later. A lot of travelling. I used to go to Mildura a fair bit, which is about 5.5 hours from Greg's place.
Yeah.
I said you'd be up at 6, leave at 11 to go to Mildura. Last race at Mildura is 11:30, 11 o'clock, because I had 12 races, and we'd be walking in the door at 5:15.
Yeah.
And you
just keep rolling, keep
rolling, or sit on the couch for half an hour and doze off, and then just straight to Greg's. And I said you might have a double header the next day. I think there was one time we got home from Mildura, we went to Warrigal the day meeting, then straight to Terang that night. Gosh. And Terang was 2.5 hours, and a lot of travelling over there, but I don't mind being in the car. Yeah. I said you can have more beers on the way home.
Okay. So. Now, we interviewed Ryan Rahoric not long ago, and I put the pressure on him. I said, now, he's going for 7 training premierships in a row. I said, well, you had Magoo on the team there. He said, I didn't think of that. He said, now the pressure's on to try and win a premiership without you being the stable foreman.
Yeah, no, he should get there pretty easily. He probably hasn't had the turnover of stock like he said, but I said, I always keep a close eye on Ryan's horses, and I said, normally he's got one in the first up or something, you better have something on it. So. And don't mind a margin bet or something, so always keep an eye on them. So.
Did you enjoy the Ryan Rahoric part of it?
I did. I did like
pretty
it.
Well.
I said me and Ryan. Ryan's Ryan. He can be blowing with you 1 minute, then he'd do anything
for you. Wants to kiss you the next minute.
He would do anything for you half an hour later. He's just that's Ryan. Everyone's got a short temper, and he can be grumpy, but that's Ryan. So.
Now, I want to talk about the Southern Cross, because, I mean, we're now into November. the target, of course, is the Southern Cross on Highway to Hell and Bacardi Bindi. They won their respective 2-year-old Southern Cross finals. They've come back from a spell, bang, bang. So far, it's coming along nicely. The plan to try and defend your title, so to speak.
It's coming along nicely. They're probably not 100% fully wound up yet, which I don't mind. I said I gave on a Highway to Hell a couple trials, and I even drove him the first trial. I just wanted to really look after him in that trial, and I said he tried against a couple of trials, but actually they ripped a nice half at Gawler. They ran in, I think I clocked him, I had a watch with me, and he ran like 55.7 at Gawler, which is, Gawler's pretty quick.
But you still got to run it.
Still got to run it, and pulling me around, he done it pretty easy. Then he trialled the week later, Wayne drove him, and he's just so laid back all the time. Like, he takes a lot to put some work into. Like, you come out here and try and work him 2,400 or something, he'll work 1,500 and pull up. He just so lazy. So I'll do 800 metre sprints with him, and just with a minute 30 in between. He just loves it. Do 3 the wrong way, then sort of turn him around and do his last 800 the right way. And as soon as he turns around, he switches on, and like he'll run home in 27.5 on his ear, and that's just him. He just likes it. And yeah, Bindi, she galloped in both her trials actually. First one she just galloped away, but then trotted the last mile in about 2 minutes at Gawler actually. I sort of clocked her then Wayne drove her in the trial. She got away good, and she just galloped point of the turn. Wayne just said she hung in a fraction, and we weren't going to beat Sky Breeze, but Wayne said we would have finished right on its back, and I think Sky Breeze is a nice horse, as proved it Monday. So they'll be back to defend their title. They'll be fully wound up in another week or two. So
So was on a Highway to Hell your first ever Southern Cross winner as an owner?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Second quarter, 29.7 after a 28.2 on a Highway to Hell. Well, he's certainly not waiting, Rogers. He's saying, come and get me. He led towards the 400 by 5 metres. In second placing, What a Bro. Throwing out the challenge now. They're clear of in third Pebble Sands and out wide Waipinga Lad on a Highway to Hell. He's running hard and fast. Down the home straight he comes. 28.9 third quarter. Being joined now by What a Bro, who came off the inside on a Highway to Hell, has to lift. He is lifting. What a Bro can't get him on a Highway to Hell. Oh, pure speed.
So
that's a real feat, because you bred him as well.
Yeah, I bred him, raced his mum as well along the highway. She was a nice, I really liked her as a mare, as a racehorse. And
you did a good job with her, because she took a long time to win her first race, and she was with 4 or 5 different stables, and she took a long time for you to sort her out. But in the end, like, I think you won about 6 or 7 races with her, or maybe more.
I think I got 12 or 13 starts, and I would have got rid of her if it wasn't for Lucy, probably. But no, we ended up just finding a little key to her. She just loved to lead and run. Like, if she didn't try overly hard from behind, but if you zipped her out the gate, and like, she had tremendous gate speed and that, and she found the front. She was always hard to beat. Ryan really gelled with her a few times. I think Matthew Smith won a couple on her as well. I think Danny won one, but Ryan seemed to always get the best out of her. So
And you wouldn't imagine that she was the mum of your first ever Southern Cross?
No, I didn't think so, but as I said, funny how things work out. So
that's good. Have you bred with her since?
Yeah, so she's got a 2-year-old sports rider. I'd done a little bit of work for him before I went to Melbourne, but Dad's done a bit with him lately, and Dad's really happy with him. So he's coming, actually after this interview, I'm actually going to pick him up today, so he'll come back into work, and hopefully he'll probably have another prep, then go out for a month or so. Then with this extended season and the change of the 2-year-old, like when they change age, like all the better races will be at the end, so be setting him for that. But really like him at this time. So
Bacardi Bindi, let's talk about her now. Different story. Her, you didn't breed her. In fact, I think she started with Chris Venocio before you took over.
No. So I got her as a yearling through Dan Kennedy. He's
I was going to ask you about the Kennedy family, because they're in some of the horses with you.
He's given me a lot of horses. The first horse I got through him was India. I think I won 3 or 4 with her, and one night here she ran second, and she actually fractured a pedal bone and done all that. So I had to retire her and put her in foal, and just drama after drama. She actually got struck by lightning while she was in foal just up at Dublin there. And so lost her in foal and but so got India, then got Plumber's Petty Cash through Dan Kennedy as well. She was a lovely horse for me. I think she may have won 10, 11 races, won her first 6 or 7. Probably didn't feel out to be her potential. She was a very hormonal horse. In the end, I couldn't even jog her. Like, she just pull up, piss, squirt all over you, and didn't want to do it. So I gave it back, and she went back to Matty Matty Higgins in Melbourne, and he got it to go a couple of times, but he just used to drag it along the jogger and trying to make it go like that. And then, had a couple with Dan. Got Joking through Dan. I couldn't quite click with Joking, so I gave him to David Smith, and David Smith done a terrific job with him. I think he won 14, 15 races with him. And then I got Bacardi Bindi as a late weanling, broke it in and worked it up, and I really liked her. I said to Dad, I think she's going to be a serious horse. First trial, I took her to Gawler, she galloped away. Had nothing on it, no head check, no nothing on it, put a head check on it. Then Ryan drove her, she went about 2-3 when she qualified here on a Sunday. But there was just no 2-year-old trotters around, so sort of said to Ryan, I probably got to send her to Melbourne, really. There's no race here, no point, just keep working her. So spoke to 3 or 4 different people, and I spoke to Chris Snoozy, and I just liked the way he sort of went about it and how he said, and so I sent him to her. She had 3, she was, ability-wise, she was ready, but probably not mentally. She went there, skipped about, never seen it mobile, probably never really worked with other horses, because I did a lot of work with her by myself. So she had 3 starts there, galloped all 3, but she wasn't hopeless. Like, she'd make up a lot of ground and that, and I think I brought her back a month before the Southern Cross, and she had 1 start and then she went in the paddock.
So both those horses on Highway to Hell and also Bacardi Bindi, you had them with other trainers, right? Emma Stewart had the guy on Highway to Hell. But then I think your strike rate with both of them is probably 100% as a trainer, isn't it? Instead of someone else?
Bacardi Bindi, she ran a heap of placings and that when I come back for 6 weeks.
Highway to Hell, you've only had a couple of
I think he's had 2 starts, he's won both of them. I sent him up to Mildura just to try and win his bonus, but he's had a few little issues, but we're on top of them now. He had surgery after his 2-year-old Southern Cross, and he had a throat up after I sent him up to Mildura a couple of times. He just wasn't quite breathing right, but no, all on top of that now, and he's ready to go.
So we'll look for those 2 as far as the Southern Cross. Any other horses that you're taking care of or looking after that we should be looking at?
Craze, he's a really nice horse.
And Craze got clear by 1.5 metres. Millie's Magic, she peels to the outside, but she's giving Craze 6 metres. Daddy kicked away at the right time. He shot right clear. Millie's Magic will get very close on the line, but the bird's flown. Craze, beautifully driven outside the leader, goes on, and Craze wins by 4 metres on the line. Second, Millie's Magic. 3-year-old trotter.
3-year-old trotter. He's just a lovely horse to have around. He's in Saturday night. He'd probably be hard to beat from the pole. He'll go back with me when I go back. His main aim to be Vic bred. Probably not good enough for it, but
if you're not in it, you can't win it.
And exactly, I'm happy to go around in a $20,000 consolation. So it's good to have one in on Vic bred day, hopefully. So.
And what about you? You only drive when you feel that you want to. I mean, let's talk about your driving career, where it started.
There wasn't much to talk about, Jimmy. Always as a kid, always wanted to drive. I think the day I turned 15 and a half, I could go for my licence, and I think I'd done all my trial drives in 5-6 weeks. Dad just used to trial everything. Used to jump on a few for Ray Holborn and who there and everywhere. And the day I turned 16, I think I had my first drive at Victor Harbour and Put Your Foot Down, one of Dad's. Ran a nice 4th, I think. But, I sort of like driving, but I'm a massive believer that weight makes too much difference.
Okay.
Massive believer, and I can tell from what ones work at home when I drive, and when I was helping Ryan, I'll jump on one and wouldn't quite keep up, and then we'll switch around. I'll go in front on something, he'll drive from behind and beat me from here to the straight away. I said, weight makes too much difference, my opinion. A lot of people give me flack over for saying it, but just my opinion. So I'll drive one if I was going to almost drive a 2-year-old trotter on Monday, one at Dad's. It's just quite not ready, but Ryan's on him this week, so just to look after him. I'll just change a few things with him, but I'll drive if I really have to. I drove Crazy 3 or 4 weeks ago. I got a spray on Facebook for putting him 3 back the fence that night, but there was no point in being in the death pulling me, so I thought I'd look after him for the final. So
And if you got the run, you got the run.
I got the run, the run, exactly right. I hit the line good, so.
All right, so we're going to go back to Lara J, you think, before the end of the year?
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure I head back after Southern Cross. Just sorting a few horses out with Dad and that, so. I'll head back there, and I'm sure Greg and I think Rossi be pretty excited to have me back there, so. He rings me all the time, so.
And look, we spoke about the personal situation where your mum passed away, and look, if you're okay to touch on that,
Yeah,
I mean, my understanding was that she went in for an operation, and it was the difficulties from the operation that sort of caused it.
Yeah, so I was actually heading over to Maryborough one day and got a phone call from Karen, and she just said, "Oh, Mum's gone to hospital," and sort of a bit of shock, didn't think. Yeah, just a bit of shock, and I'd one in that Maryborough and Craze was in, and Mum would always ring me half an hour after a race if it wasn't too late, like,
Yep.
It went good. Why are you working that one for? Why are you feeding that one for? Yeah,
She'd always keep in
she'd
contact.
always ring after one's raced or something.
Yeah.
Just heard nothing from her that day. It did go terrible. So I thought, oh, maybe she knows. I'll know what she's going to say, so she won't ring me. And yeah, so Dad got home from work and she was laying in bed, which is a bit unlike Mum. And Dad went in there. She was just a bit of like a yellow colour. So Dad rang the ambulance straight away. They rushed her off to Lyle Mac, and yeah, they thought, oh, she could have part of her bowel out. Just got an infection in the bowel. Take that out. We rushed her to the RAR on Tuesday. Surgery Tuesday. She'll be home Thursday. And a couple of days go past, and Karen rings, oh, Mum still hasn't fully woken up from, they put her in an induced coma.
Yep.
Karen just rang and said, oh, she's in an induced coma, she hasn't fully woken up from that. I said, which is, every time, like Mum's been through a fair bit, she's had chemo a few times and beat cancer a few times and done all that, and whenever Mum has surgery, she takes a little bit longer to wake up from an induced coma, and just a few complications from that, and yeah, 2 weeks later, she was gone. So.
Yeah. And that's the reason why you're here, to support your dad and your sisters in this situation.
I was lucky. Like, as soon as Mum went into hospital, or when they thought things went pretty bad, I tried 3 or 4 times to get back on compassionate grounds through the cross-border thing, and was never able to get through. Then the RA, Royal Adelaide Hospital, they wrote a letter to SA Health, and Monday night they let me come through, so I had to be at the border by 7 o'clock the next morning, and I got in on the Tuesday, and they let me go see her Tuesday night, and I got to see her Wednesday. And yeah, she passed away on the Wednesday, which I was very thankful to get back and spend some time with Mum. So, and like I said, I couldn't be in contact with anyone. Then I had to go do 2 weeks in quarantine at the Pullman's Hotel, and I even just seen Dad and the 2 girls at the hospital and that, and like not even able to speak to them, and just see them through a glass window was pretty tough.
Yeah, tough times.
Like, and one thing I'd never ever want to see again is Dad cry.
Yeah.
It hit him pretty hard, but as it would.
Well, he's got to soldier on, it's got to go on, and that's the hard part. Group together and
exactly
go
right.
on. And look, Dad's trained a couple of winners, you've trained a couple of winners, so that's what it's all about in
Exactly
horse racing, Matt. Just got to keep training winners.
Yeah, exactly right.
There we go. There's Matt Maguire, and he's our special guest on Mobile Rolling. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Cheers, mate.